This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. Welcome to episode 118. This is our Crypticon Recap. If you haven't been listening for the last few episodes, or like any episode.
Over the last month.
Yeah, pretty much every episode we've mentioned Crypticon at some point because it's our favorite horror convention in the Northwest.
It's our only.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really like the only horror convention in the Northwest that we have.
Though we do have the Portland Horror Festival, which is like a film festival, and that's coming up really soon.
Yep.
It might be in June. I could be wrong, but carry on, and I'm gonna confirm that and get back to you.
They were advertising that event at, you guessed it, Crypticon. That's where we found out about the whole thing. So, yeah, we had a blast. We're gonna dig into that in a little bit. We have a couple guests lined up that we spoke to at the event.
Okay, so I'm back. So the Portland Horror Film Festival runs June 7th through 11th.
Creeping up pretty fast.
And go to portlandhorror.com, and it'll take place at the Hollywood Theater, which is a place I want to visit someday, and the Clinton Street Theater. So portlandhorror.com, that's like next week, so do that. Carry on, sir.
Yeah, there you go. You got your weekend plans. That'll be fun. So yeah, we have a couple guests that we're going to get into a little bit later. We spoke with the Addams family, which you may know from The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, if you have watched that. They also, they were there for their movie Hellbender, but they also have a band called Hellbender. So not only were we able to talk about the film with them, but, you know, we chatted a little bit about music. Maybe not so much in the episode, but when we met them there, we chatted about music a little bit.
They did send us a song to play.
Yep.
So barring any technical difficulties, we might hear a song from Hellbender in the middle of the episode.
I still have tiny little pieces stuck in my head.
Tiny little pizzas. Or not. But, yeah, so we're going to mention some friends we ran into, stuff we bought, some of the nonsense that we spent our bill money on.
Yeah. The banks have been calling.
Yeah,
and I've been ignoring.
They're not calling me. I just don't answer the phone, but I changed my number or something.
Just turn the phone off completely.
Yep.
No one ever calls me.
Unplug it. So
Unplug it. What are you working with, a landline?
Actually, I have my house line is through my internet. So it's like an internet line, so I could just shut off my modem. I mean, you guys won't hear from me for a while, but I don't know how long I could go without the internet on, though. That'd be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as my phone signal's good, though, I'd be all right. And I got plenty of DVDs to watch, so, I mean, I'll survive for a couple days. But I figure, like a week or so, I don't know if I could do that.
My youngest can't even do 5 minutes because if Paw Patrol doesn't play, he's coming for my throat.
Yeah, well.
Or Dino Ranch or whatever the flavor of the week is.
Whatever it is. So he's over Jurassic Park?
I mean, he still is all about dinosaurs, no question. I'm kind of bummed that the family didn't come along with me on Saturday because they missed out on something that we'll mention later that was there in attendance. Something prehistoric.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I'm wondering if they can figure out the hint. I think we both posted pictures of it on social media.
I haven't yet.
You haven't yet?
No.
What are you waiting for?
I've been busy.
Okay. All right. We'll buy that.
I'm holding on to my Crypticon pictures. You got to wait.
Before we actually start talking about Crypticon too much, we have stuff we need to promote. I can't even talk. I need to learn how to speak English. I need to learn how to use the English language.
English.
And then we'll promote some things. Like the fact that we are part of the Deluxe Edition Network.
Look at that segue.
So the Deluxe Edition Network is a group of, I think there's over 20 shows now, 20 different podcasts that all kind of bounce off each other and promote each other. And you can find us all in one place, deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And there's links to all the shows. You can find everybody, including the podcast of the month on the Deluxe Edition Network. This month, it's Barrel Aged Chicks and Deep Dark Secrets. Two shows that I'm hearing a lot of good things about. Have not dug into them myself, but I'm slowly sampling all the shows, and everything I've heard so far has been pretty dang good.
Likewise. Yeah, I listened to a little bit of Barrel Aged Chicks, and they're fun. I haven't started the other one yet, but I need to just go down the line. Just start at the top of the app and just listen to each one.
And we might even do some crossovers with some, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we definitely want to.
And what about us? How can people support us specifically?
Why, thank you for asking. You can buy us a coffee, of course, as I'm finishing my coffee right now. You can head over to buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto, and it's basically a tipping service. So if you're feeling generous and you want to help out a couple little podcast fishies, then you can buy us a coffee, and it goes towards the show. It helps out with everything around the Steve and Crypto show. Our gear, our merch, our promotions, it even helps with like putting money in the gas tank to get us to the next convention so that we can promote our podcast, things like that. So again, head over to buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto to check that out. You can also, while you're at it and you're on your phone or your computer or whatever, visit our Patreon, which is patreon.com/SteveCrypto. We have some exclusive content over there waiting for you. If you want to give us money to spoil movies for you, we are happy to do that, as we've already spoiled Evil Dead Rise and Scream 6. So
what will we spoil next?
Yeah. Just tell us. I mean, you could just throw us some money and be like, I want you to spoil the new Burt Kreischer movie or something like that. I haven't seen it yet, but Steve can spoil it for
I'll
you.
Spoil it right now if you want.
Yeah, he'll just spill that tea.
I'll fucking do it.
How much money you got? He'll spill it.
Yeah, or I won't. How much money you got?
Yeah, there you go. So again, patreon.com/SteveCrypto. There's like some unboxing videos over there. There's like some board game talk. There's a variety of things. So just go check it out. And if you want to buy a new t-shirt or some merch for your third favorite podcast, we encourage you to visit Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch, or just go to Etsy and look up Steve and Crypto show. You will find 2 t-shirt designs. You'll find a mug for your coffee or whatever you enjoy, your vodka, something. And you'll find a great looking magnet that's going to shine on your fridge. So visit Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. Go get something now. If you do, post a picture of you wearing your shirt or drinking out of your coffee mug or whatever and tag us in it. We want to see it. And if you want to share something else, you can visit our Facebook group, which is the Steve and Crypto show. And if you have anything that you're working on, or if you have a friend that's working on something, if your friend has an album, or you have a movie you just finished and you want to put the trailer in there, go ahead and do so. We encourage you to share what you're working on, as long as it's like pop culture related, definitely horror related. As we've said, extra points for that. Keep adding up those points. I don't know what they're going to go for, but one day we'll do a raffle or something, and those points will be good for that. I don't know. Just share what you're working on there. We want to see it.
Just share.
Share your friends' stuff. We just want to connect with more of you guys that are listening. We want to find more of our group of friends, like Like, we have horror friends out there. We even met some people at Crypticon that we've never met before. People that just spotted us and came and chatted for a bit. But we're always looking for more. We're always looking for more people out there that are into the darker side of entertainment.
It's the best way to promote and support our show?
Leave a review.
And ratings.
Of course.
Wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yep. So if you're listening on Spotify right now or Apple Pods or Stitcher or whatever, most of them will let you leave a review. So if you feel like leaving that 5-star review for a couple nerds, we would greatly appreciate it.
At this point, I'll take any review.
And be sure that you're following us online on all the socials and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that. Be sure to follow The Steve Strout and CryptoZoo88. We'll keep you guys updated with anything that we got going on, anything that we can reveal or that we want to reveal. And I think that about covers all of our bases.
That's us. That's the way to promote us.
Before we get into some Crypticon chat, which took place in Seattle for anybody
in Seattle. They're in the lovely Pacific Northwest.
For anybody that isn't familiar with the event itself.
If you've never heard of Seattle, it's...
Well, if you're like, where's Crypticon? I've talked about it with a few people just out on my delivery route, and they're like, what's that? Where is it? And, they weren't even aware of it. So we're doing our part to let all you guys know if you are ever in the Northwest in May, mostly the third weekend.
Usually in May.
Usually the third weekend of May. Yeah, I think it's been in April before too, but it's usually a May event. So if you're out here, probably the third weekend of May, expect Crypticon to happen. And it's been happening at the Doubletree Hotel for the last few years. Yep. So that's likely where it will be. Speaking of Seattle, I just wanted to briefly mention that any of you that are coming this way that are into Stranger Things, the Stranger Things experience is now open. So I think tickets are around $30. That's really all I can tell you. I don't know much about it.
Do we even know what it is?
It's
the experience.
It's an experience.
You're going to go and get eaten by a Demogorgon or something?
Sure. That sounds fun. Sounds like a fun experience.
Sounds terrible.
Is Sean Astin going to be there?
Probably not.
No?
Probably not. I met him once at a convention, and I think he was really drunk, and he started singing to me when I went up to his table. I don't remember what he was singing, but it was kind of awkward, but it was...
I want to dance with somebody!
It wasn't that. Yeah, but you mentioned Crypticon here in the Northwest. There's actually a ton of horror conventions around the country, including a couple other Crypticon events. And they have one, I think, in Minnesota, and they have one in Kansas City, which is actually coming up.
Yeah, the Kansas City one is July 7th through the 9th.
Too bad we can't be there. We have friends out that way.
Yeah, we'd love to check it out. Our buddy Doug Jones, who was on the show on our Halloween special last year, or no, the year before, actually. He'll be there, signing autographs.
He's like the best.
Hugging people.
Not to take away from the awesome guest we had at Crypticon this year, but
yeah.
Doug is like my all-time favorite convention guest.
Yeah, so
Easy.
If you're in Kansas City, we recommend you go to Crypticon and go shake the Baron's hand.
But yeah, go.
Hopefully he doesn't try to levitate you.
Just search for, like, most areas have a local-ish horror convention. Go to these shows, support all the vendors, support the all the creative people that are there, support the guests, meet people that are like you, fucking weirdos like us. Go to these shows. They're awesome. And like we always mention, Crypticon is the thing I look forward to most every year in the whole convention scene. Like, I go to other conventions, but this is like the one.
Same.
We run into so many, old friends, and it's fucking blast, man.
Yeah. I mean, this year we ran into our friends at Horror Addicts.
Oh yeah.
They were there, working actually. I mean, they were hanging out, but they were working too. Because Gory B Movie, she was a like a panel leader or a moderator.
They were both panelists.
Yeah.
A couple different panels.
Yeah.
And they're always cool to run into. Good people.
Yep.
Like support them. Find them on YouTube. The Horror Addicts. Every year they do an awesome horror award show. And this past year we got to present an award, and that was pretty cool. There's good, cool ass people. But yeah, it was good to see them. Other old friends like ran into Bree Cummings from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yep.
That gang. Just run into her in passing. Everybody's just so busy, and like all the just a lot of panelist friends that would normally do panels and are always busy, and it's like like we could probably do that, but I don't want to have to run around like a chicken with my head cut off. I want to enjoy I want to see all this stuff, because most of the people, like, it's like, hey, what have you seen? Like, nothing. I've been running back and forth between panels. Like we ran into my friend when we were in line, and Kim.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't I think of her name? But
yeah.
We ran into Kim, and it was just like, what have you seen? And it's like, really not much. I have like 312 panels this weekend. And
yeah, I would love to do that if we didn't have to be moderators for like a ton of panels, maybe just a couple of them or something. That'd be fun, or at least if we had like one day we were doing that and then we knew we'd be there the next day to just hang out and enjoy things, and I'd be cool with that. But
I think I'd rather just have a booth and hang out personally. I mean, you could do panels.
I kind of want to do it.
We don't need to do panels together. Do panels.
Yeah,
but
I think it'd be fun.
That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not the public speaker.
Yeah.
But I'll sit here and have a conversation with anybody, but I don't need an audience. That don't work for me.
Yeah.
Because I'd be the panelist that just sits there and says nothing. And I'd have all these thoughts in my head. Like, I could add so much. Like, so many panels I'll go to. And, like, I was at a panel. I don't want to say what panel and who was on it, because there might have been friends of ours on it.
Yeah.
And they were talking about certain things and kind of misinformation, putting incorrect information out, and some people were asking questions that they couldn't answer, and like I fucking knew it all.
Yeah.
So but I was just like, I'm just gonna sit here and listen. Like, I could have added so much to it.
Yeah.
But I just don't do the whole. Like, it's enough for me to sit here and fucking record myself talking.
See, for me, I'm thinking like if there's the live audience, that gives the potential for even more.
Oh, I get
conversation.
Exactly what it could do.
Like, oh, that person over there asked a question. His question made me think of something new.
Yeah. Or just that person was likable and they had cool shit to say. I should check out their show.
Yeah.
And see if that's as interesting as that. Which, I mean, yeah. In that sense, it's awesome. And
yeah.
Sure, do it. But
I mean, I went to Alex Vincent's panel, and even while standing there just listening to people ask him questions and whatnot, like a question that somebody asked him basically started a question for me,
because, it inspired your own question.
Yeah. Because they asked him, like, if you could be on a show, like something that's not Chucky related, what would it be? And he said, I've always wanted to be on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is one of my favorite shows, favorite sitcoms, no questions. So right away I was like, all right, well, I asked him, I was like, before that he mentioned that he was a wrestling fan. So I was like, well, who do you think would win in a match between you and the Trash Man? And he admitted that the Trash Man would probably take him down. But that question never would have crossed my mind if somebody else in the audience hadn't have asked him a question. So that's kind of what I enjoy when it comes to the live crowd. Is like, well, someone out there is going to have some direction that they're going to take this that I wouldn't take it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another reason I like to just sit back and listen.
Yeah.
And hear other people's perspectives, because if you're the center of the conversation, it's kind of sometimes it's hard to take in because you're coming off your notes and like, this is where my mind's at here.
Yeah.
My mind is not allowing this other stuff in, open it up.
Yeah, that can be tricky.
Which is why I can sit here and watch like people talking on YouTube all day, and I love documentaries and like boring shit because I like hearing shit, but I don't like relaying it.
Yeah.
Which is so surprising that what are we in fucking episode 119?
118. Yeah.
Is it 118?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't even know. But so that's why last episode I gave you the thumbs up for being the numbers guy. The numbers and URL guy.
And I can tell you that the last episode was 117 because, one, it wasn't that long ago. And two, I remember 117 being attached to who we spoke to, which, if you guys didn't catch it, we spoke to Melanie Cohn from Peanuts, from Charlie Brown. She was the voice of Lucy.
We chatted with her.
Had like a little on-site interview. Well, you did. I was working, but
about a month ago.
Yeah, a month ago, we were at the Olympic Collectible Expo in Silverdale at the mall, and Melanie was right next to my table, and so Steve had a little chat with her while I was working, and then later in the episode, we had a chat with Jared Savage, who is a friend of mine from up here in the Northwest, and he eventually moved out to the Midwest and started cracking skulls and collecting faces out that way. And
he's an indie wrestler, by the way.
He's an indie wrestler, and
like, why is his friend out there cracking skulls?
Yeah, why is he such a violent person?
What a dick.
Yeah. If you want to, like, Jared's not going to be wrestling at this event, but if you want to hang out with him and hang out with a bunch of other crazy animals, a bunch of Zooligans, I suggest if you guys are out in the Midwest, if you're in Ohio this weekend, go check out Camp Zool. It might not be too late for you to snag a ticket. CampZool.com. Go check it out.
Yep. This weekend, as long as I get this episode out in time.
Yeah.
Busy guy here. Busy guy. But, yeah, so we were mentioning friends we ran into. Let's mention a couple more. Like Eli Wolf, who we've mentioned a fucking million times on this show because he's basically both in one of our favorite area artists.
I don't want to downplay anybody else's booth or anything like that. Like, there are so many vendor booths at Crypticon, and it's hard to figure out where you're going to spend your money. I'm sure anybody listening that's attended can relate to that. You're like, all right, I brought this much, and I found
he always gets a little something.
I can blow all my money at this one table, or try to spread it around, and get something from a few different people. But yeah, Eli is one that I always look forward to seeing. He has some really cool hybrid art, is what I would call it.
Yeah.
He'll match things together. You just look up Eli Wolf on Instagram.
Yeah, do like pop culture mashups. And,
yeah.
What's some examples?
I got a sticker from him. He makes stickers, magnets, all kinds of things.
Prints,
I got a sticker of Luigi playing with a Ouija board. So it's Luigi board. Or I have a magnet of Chucky with a, how do you say it, a charcuterie board? Am I saying that right? Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys know what I'm talking about, a cheese plate.
Yeah.
So it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep. So you see where that goes. It's
Yeah.
like cheesy mashups that just make you smile.
Yeah.
And he's just a fucking nice guy.
Oh, I have the Evil Knievel, like the Evil Dead Knievel magnet with Ash riding on a motorcycle.
Wasn't there
That's a
Curious
great one.
George one?
Yep. Curious George playing with Lamarchin's box. Playing with the Pinhead's box.
That sounds dirty. The new Pinhead's a female.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I went there.
And I said Lamarchin's box. I'm not even sure if that's the right term, but that's the name of a Jedi Mind Trick song, which is pretty much talking all about Pinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it the Pinhead Puzzle Box.
Yeah.
We ran into Derek from Portland.
Yeah.
No, he's content creator from Portland. He's got an Instagram page, Shadowplay PDX. He's like a content creator and he DJs and stuff down there.
Yep. He posts a lot of like unboxing videos and
Halloween time, lots of Halloween hunting stuff.
He's one of us guys. Like, if you check out his page, you'll probably like what he has to offer. Follow him on YouTube.
On YouTube, he is Halloween Fiend PDX.
Yeah, we were looking around and I spotted him down the hallway. I was like, "That's Derek. We gotta go say hi."
Yeah. Let's see. Who else? Misty Fig, who is another artist friend I've known for years, like from conventions. I got a couple cool things from her. She's always there. I think we talked about her a little bit on one of the preview episodes.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned her a bit. Yeah, man. So there's just a lot of cool people that we hadn't seen and met new people. Honestly, one of the highlights of the whole thing. We only went the one day. I went one day. You went the second day with your family.
Yeah,
which was less Steven Crypto day and more corral the kids and buy all the stuff that you shopped for the day before.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the first year that I went, I picked out some things for Sarah, and I think she was happy with some of the stuff I got her. But last year and this year, I was like, well, if you're going with me the next day, I might as well just wait. You can go pick that stuff out yourself. So yeah, we found some things. The kids were a hell of a lot better than last year. I mean, our oldest, we don't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
But the 3-year-old, he gets a little restless and he'll start getting into things or whatever, I could see him just walking behind one of the celebrities' tables and,
A little one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wouldn't question it. He'd just walk right behind their table and, like, what you got here?
I thought you were going to say, like, just walk by and pull stuff off somebody's table.
Oh, he would do that, too.
You have to buy a bunch of shit.
Yeah. He would do that, too.
Turns into a
But he was really good this year.
$2,000 convention visit.
Yeah. No, I got to give it to him. He was great this year.
Yeah.
As long as he had mom's phone in his hand.
Right.
That's what you got to do these days, right, guys? A phone or a tablet or something.
Yeah, you can't distract him with a book or like.
Yeah.
I remember we were little. I'd spend hours like with a coloring book or like reading comics or something.
Yep.
Now it's like nope. It's got to be fast-paced, tick-tocky, crazy stuff.
And I don't like it, but sometimes as a parent, that's all that you want. It's like, okay, the screaming has lasted 40 minutes. Just take the phone.
Take the motherfucking phone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Just watch.
Don't order nothing on Amazon and don't look at porn. Here you go. Leave me alone.
And don't delete any more dinosaurs off that Jurassic World app.
Or if you find good porn, save the link for me to check it out later. Just kidding. Just kidding. So yeah, lots of cool people. We'll talk about some of the guests and stuff in a few minutes. But I want to kind of shout out a couple new friends. First of all, one of the highlights of the fucking convention for me was running into new friends that I had become acquainted with on Instagram.
Yeah.
A couple cosplayers that came down and flew down from Alaska.
They had awesome costumes.
They had great fucking costumes.
Like, there are great costumes in the whole convention, but those two, they definitely took some time to put them together.
So hopefully they're listening. So Kristen and Denise.
No, they met us. They don't listen now. They met us and, they're like,
oh,
I don't want to listen to those assholes.
I don't know what. But anyways, Kristen and from Denise from Alaska. If y'all are listening, what's
Thank
happening?
you guys.
It was awesome meeting you.
Hope you had a blast up here.
Kristen dressed up as Sam from Night of the Comet.
Yeah.
Kelly Maroney's character who was there, and she wore it, and Kelly Maroney loved it and ate it up.
Yeah. And
And
she even had the blaster.
yeah, she had a machine gun. The Uzi.
Yeah.
And Denise dressed up as one of my favorite pro wrestlers, Danhausen.
Yeah.
And it was fucking badass.
That makeup was on point.
Like, she got it down to even got a temporary tattoo made for like the chest tattoo, Danhausen's chest tattoo.
Yeah.
And she did that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
She said she even sent it to Dan Housen because I was like, you gotta
Yeah.
send a picture of yourself to him.
I'm sure
And
she did.
She
She's
said
a
she
big
did,
fan.
and he's shared it before or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely posted pictures. I don't know if I put them in a story or right on my feed, but go look on Instagram, the Steve Strout. Check it out. They looked awesome. They were super cool.
Yeah. It was great meeting them.
I actually encountered Kristen on Instagram because she was posting pictures of, like, she has a signed Laserdisc collection, and I thought it was cool as fuck, and I commented, and then turned out she was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear this costume, and I was like, oh, hope you see it. And it wasn't gonna be the same day, but we were there, and they found us, and she wore the costume because she wanted to make sure Kelly seen it, and she wanted to make sure I seen it. So I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. It was a cool fucking costume. And
Later, she changed into a different one. She had it was like a maid outfit
or something, yeah,
with I think it had a
face hugger.
a face hugger on a tray, and it said free hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. But shout out to them. They were super cool.
Yeah.
And another person I've been like friends on Instagram with for years because he's a horror fan. I'd seen him around the convention a lot, but just always never spoke to was Willie J. He's on Instagram as Wiccaburr, Wiccabburr, and he's like a huge horror fan. And he's a fan of ours now. But he has, like, he always posts stuff, like his collection of collectibles.
Yeah.
And movies and stuff that he's watching and shit. And he's a good dude, just a chill dude, nice guy. He's supportive of everybody. And it was cool to finally meet and chat with him a little bit and hook him up with a little bit of Steven Crypto swag and just good dude. I'm glad to have met him, and hopefully we could encounter him again, and maybe even outside of Crypticon.
Yeah.
He's somebody I could see us hanging with and maybe chatting with here. And
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we jumped on to Instagram Live, I think a couple days before going to Crypticon.
Yeah.
And he jumped in and just commented that he was going to be there. And so it was cool to actually meet someone like that, that we spoke to in advance. And
he showed interest in, I think I mentioned something about Stapled Spine fanzine, which you guys should check out, stapledspine.com. I write for them sometimes, which I should be in issue, I think it's 21 coming up, or 2. I have a piece in there about Northwest horror hosts. So I kind of did a research on them because the history. I'm obsessed with horror hosts. You guys fucking know. But there's not a ton of history and stuff documented on the Northwest history. But there is a history. But it's very little because back in the day, a lot of them shows ran live or they just, reused the tape, recycled it because it was expensive. So there's not much footage. Like there was like The Count on Cairo. There was why is the name slipping my brain? Anyways, there was a lot. There was a lot, and I kind of went through like a brief, like history of it. And it's going to be in that next issue of Stapled Spine.
that'd be a good read.
Back to Willie. I brought him an issue of Stapled Spine because he seemed interested in it.
Yeah.
And now I know he listens to us and he reads Stapled Spine.
Hi, Willie.
Which is why I love these conventions because you connect with people like that and you make more than, we have a new follower or a new listener, but it's more than that. It's like those are our friends now.
Yeah, it was really great meeting all of the people that we just discussed. Like, I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't flattering.
It is,
but like it really is. It's really cool to meet you guys and to just, we know that we have some people listening, but like when you actually meet them in person, it's a little bit more special. Nothing against anybody else out there that we haven't met yet. We hope to meet you one day.
Everybody.
We hope to meet all of you guys one day in some way, But it just was kind of touching in a way, for them to be like, hey, Steve, and then we start chatting there, and
we don't have that crowd here locally in our area.
No.
Like, we're pushing and it feels like people don't give a shit. Like, if you're local and you're listening, thank you. Just let us know. We want to see who you are.
As far as we know, we don't really have too many people around Port Townsend that are listening.
We want to start doing events here. You know what I mean? There's a community here that loves movies.
Yep.
We have a great fucking film festival that, it's not really horror, but it's a great festival, and they bring in guests. And, you don't need to be. It just needs to be open to, like, check out these crazy young dudes that love movies just as much as these other people, but they're just not snobby about it.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll be able to do, like, a late-night showing of a movie at one of the local theaters.
There could be something, could be something in the works.
Yeah.
We want to start, like, a movie night, which I got foot in the door in some places, so we're going to work on that. Back to people that we met. You mentioned at the top of the show that we have a couple of people we chatted with at the show.
Yeah.
We met a local filmmaker named Justin Robert Vinall. And he just released a film called From the Depths. It's a short film, and he debuted it at the Seattle Film Festival, which is a pretty good festival. It's a big independent film festival. He premiered it there and got really good feedback. And he also screened it at Crypticon, and that went really well. So we wanted to, I wanted to chat with him. He sent me a screener to check it out, and it was really good. Stay tuned down the road because it will be available. And if I hear anything when it's released or where you can see it, I'll let you know. But Justin Robert Vinall chatted with us for a few minutes to tell us a little bit about his background in the film, and to share his elation for how well it's been received so far. So meet Justin Robert Vinall, and we will be back with more talk about celebrities and another conversation we had at Crypticon. Be right back, guys.
Hello, friends. This is Dirk Manning, the writer and creator of comic book series such as Twisted Haunted High On, Tales of Mystery, Nightmare World, Bear But Not Dead, Butts and Seats of Johnny Schiavone's Story, Hope, and a ton of other stuff. And I just want to let you all know that I am super excited for you, because right now you have the distinct pleasure and honor of listening to the Stephen Crypto Show. So I'm going to get out of here so you can listen to the show and have fun, because this is just some of the best podcast discussion you're going to hear on the internet. So go, listen, enjoy.
Hey, this is Tim.
This is Ainsley.
And this is Rebecca. And we're the co-hosts of the One Dark Fright podcast, where we talk in depth about a horror movie every month from start to finish.
Right now, you're listening to Steve and Crypto Zoo and the awesome Steve and Crypto Show.
When you're done listening to this episode, come check out the One Dark Fright podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and anywhere you fulfill your podcast needs. But now, let's get back to Steve and Crypto.
Hey, Crypticon, what is happening? I like how I say, hey, Crypticon, but we're going to actually be talking to Steve and Crypto listeners. We are at Crypticon, and we are hanging with a Seattle area filmmaker named Justin Robert Vinall. He just released a short film at the Seattle Independent Film Festival, and they screened it here at Crypticon this weekend. So, Justin, just tell us about yourself, tell us about the movie, and we want to hear about how it went over.
Yeah, so, we just screened From the Depths. It had its world premiere last week at SIFF, and it got a marvelous reaction, and I'm just over the moon about it, and still kind of in this kind of blackout phase of like, oh gosh, did we actually screened this thing for people and whatnot. But pretty much the movie, it follows this couple that are dealing with a bout of depression, and they go out to a lake house to try to recoup their relationship and see where they can navigate through all their troubles. But as the time there goes on, there's this call that brings out our main character to this dock. And as he walks towards the dock, it's this alluring siren that tries to pull him into the darker waters. So it's a film that kind of features the idea of it tackles like the recontextualization of like a siren in terms of like turning it from something a bit more romantic to something a bit more devious and something that focuses more on depression and whatnot. So yeah,
I think that's kind of how I say. I think people are going to interpret it in many different ways.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you before, I kind of saw it as the whole scenario not really happening.
Yeah.
And the guy, having a mental breakdown or something, and the siren calling him in was him convincing himself to end it himself, and that's kind of where I was going with it. But I don't want to give away too much. I want people to see it.
Yeah.
But it was like a nice slow build, and then boom, crazy shit, which is the way it should be.
I appreciate that.
So you grew up in the Northwest?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Everett, Washington, and then moved out to Seattle right after high school, and have been working in film professionally since 2014, and have been wanting to make movies my whole life. But just recently I've been just kind of been slamming through as much work around the Seattle and Washington area.
All right, so was this your debut film? Wait, that was all you, or was it?
I've made other horror short films before. I had a film called Emiko a couple years ago that played here at Crypticon, played at Bleeding Ham. Bone Bat, and that film did really well. And another film I did called A Purple Vision, which is kind of like a Twilight Zone kind of ironic twist on the whole love potion scenario used at a party, and kind of like the social anxieties that go with that. So I've made like a handful of horror short films that kind of have a lot of social commentary and whatnot. So it's got that kind of Twilight Zone, Black Mirror kind of edge to it.
Right. And this was your first to run at SIF?
Yes. I've submitted to SIF in the past, and this is the first one that's gone in, and it's still all so surreal to me.
Yeah, I was thinking it must be like growing up here in Northwest, the Seattle Film Festival is like the big movie event here.
Yeah.
So to have your film appear and do well is got to be like a holy shit moment.
It was more than a holy shit moment for sure. I remember like getting the email and just like feeling completely like having a completely out of body experience.
Like the acceptance email.
Yeah, the acceptance email, and just like, I'm still like even after we screened it and everything, I'm still reeling from it and being like, we got into SIF and we played there, and it was just like, it was such an extraordinary experience, and just having like, playing it at the Egyptian Theater, which is like my favorite independent theater in Seattle, playing it there with a big audience and getting the reaction that it got, and and being surrounded by a bunch of marvelous other filmmakers and films. It was just like, it was such a high honor, so I just couldn't be more happy with how it all unfolded. It was very magical.
Not to go too far off topic, but it's pretty exciting that SIF is going to revive Cinerama.
Oh my gosh,
The movie lover,
dude. Yeah, I remember I was at opening nights when they announced that, and just like the energy, like the synergy, and just the amount of joy that was spread across that room.
In the room.
Dude. You could feel it, like the applause, the rowdiness, just everyone was so hyped, and it makes me so excited. The fact that like the movie going experience is still so strong and so exciting, and it makes me even much more happier to see the prospect of the Cinerama being reutilized in this way and being in such terrific hands with SIF.
Yeah, and it could only add more life to just the filmmaking community here.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
We need more movies here. We need the local government to make it easier and more affordable to make movies here.
Yeah, it's being being within the film community for the last like almost a decade now. It's like, it's been definitely a struggle to see like films that that have been made here, but not maybe perform as well and not like, grow as they should, or like attracting more outside productions and whatnots, and utilizing, like what we have here. But I think there's still like a lot of growth and infrastructure that needs to be built here within Seattle to make it a strong and competitive film state, so that we can also look at the state as something that is worth shooting here and not at Vancouver,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm hoping for a brighter future for sure.
Yeah, just the state in general. There's just so much beauty throughout the state, so much potential location and everything. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Everything.
Yeah.
Desert and forest and cities and like, what else do you really need?
That's another thing too. Is like I was out in Spokane last year filming a movie, and just like the vast range of like beauty that's out there. It's like, we have so much here to offer. So it's like, I would hope that, as the infrastructure is built more and more here, that there are more opportunities to take advantage of just like the vast beauty that is here already. So,
right.
Yeah.
So what's the next step for your movie?
So right now we just started our festival run. We played, we had a world premiere at SIFF, and we just played here at Crypticon, which was also just another marvelous experience, just to be surrounded by other like-minded horror filmmakers and fans, and just enjoy the company that we were a part of with that as well. And the next thing that we're looking at is we have submitted to, I think, over 20 film festivals right now. We're just waiting to hear back. We should be hearing back within a week or so from a couple, and we just hope that this film continues to find an audience at different festivals, and people continue to be moved or react in some kind of way or interpret the film in more ways than one. And just, we just hope that the film continues to have legs and keep going. So, yeah.
Right. What's the best way for people to keep up and hear the latest on the film, or where are they going to be able to see it?
Yeah, so right now you can keep up at Next Floor Entertainment anywhere on our social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just type in Next Floor Entertainment and you should be able to find anything there. Or even my name, Justin Robert Vinall. You should be able to find plenty of updates on how the film's coming along, and future projects and past projects that we talk about from time to time, and projects that we produce outside of Next Floor Entertainment. So, yeah.
Anything else you want to add or plug before we run?
I'm just again just so happy that it's been a couple years since I've been at Crypticon because of the pandemic and whatnot, but it's been so lovely to be able to reconnect with so many amazing people here at the convention, and I'm looking forward to more interactions with folks, and again, like what we've talked about with Cinerama, just the movie going experience coming back, and again, I'm just so excited for a bigger, better, brighter future.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for popping in and telling us about it and taking time away from your con, which hopefully they didn't charge you to come in because.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm
okay,
good.
So everybody,
dude, I got a freebie. I'm golden.
Okay, yeah. Don't want to take away from your con time, but cool, man.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for hanging.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you again so much.
All right, we are back. Thanks to Justin Robert Vinall for chatting with us from The Depth is Good. I got to make sure Crypto Zoo gets to watch it soon. I know he's been busy, and apparently I forgot to send the link.
Yeah, that's your fault. I haven't watched it yet.
So we'll make him watch that, and we'll have him tell us his thoughts on hopefully the next episode if we remember.
Yeah,
I'll make a note, but I'll probably lose my notebook. We'll see. But no, it's definitely not saying you shouldn't watch it. It's good, and I want to tell everybody about it. Hoping he submits it to the Paulsboro Film Festival.
That'd be great,
because that's a good festival.
Oh, speaking of that festival, we saw our friend Kevin there. Yeah, Kevin.
I almost forgot.
Paulsball Film Festival.
How did I almost forget Kevin?
Yeah, for real. Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin.
And his friend Gail. It was great meeting him as well.
Good dudes.
Yeah, great guys. We had a nice little chat with them while we were there and saw them throughout the day. And
definitely,
yeah.
If you're in the Northwest, that film festival is awesome. They have multiple blocks of films, including a horror block, which is very, very important to us, obviously.
Yeah.
But not
I don't want
many-
to say it's the coolest one, but it's
our
definitely
favorite, personally.
one to check
Not
out.
many film festivals have a horror, block like that, unless it's a specifically horror film festival.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. We went last year. They invited us to hang out and check it out and hype it a little bit, and we did, and there was some great fucking short films.
Lucky for us, the man in charge is a horror fan.
And I feel like Justin's movie From the Depths deserves to be screened there. And I think if he submits it and Kevin sees it in his panel, will probably be into it and checking it out.
Speaking of that kind of thing, anybody listening, if you have a movie that you might want to submit, feel free to look into that. Just look up Paulsbo Film Festival and look for the details. I'm not exactly sure when the cutoff date is or anything like that, but I know if you look up Paulsbo Film Festival, you should be able to find some information on that.
There's another film festival here kind of in the area run by this dude Tyler, who is actually a filmmaker as well. And he has the Thing in the Basement Horror Fest, which I think right now he's running it. It's like an online film festival, but it's a cool spot to submit your films if you're an indie filmmaker and you're looking for places to get your movie seen. And submission fees like super cheap. And check it out. Search for the Thing in the Basement Horror Fest. It's a cool little festival. Hoping we could get Steven Crypto Show involved a little bit. So, Tyler, you're probably not listening, but you should be.
If Tyler's friends are listening, feel free to relay the message.
Yeah. And I'm hoping some of my friends that I'm involved with submit their stuff to that festival.
That'd be great.
So that way, local film festival could have a movie that I might appear in. That'd be kind of cool.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. I like it. Of course,
All right.
I like it. But anyways,
get into these Crypticon guests
the celebrities.
that we met there.
The celebrities. Well, you guys know we chatted with a few of them leading up to Crypticon.
Yep.
Starting with Jason Brooks.
Yep.
Who we finally got to meet and chat with in person. He's a good fucking dude.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Big dude. Gentle giant.
Yeah. Yeah. When you meet him in person, you're like, oh, yeah, you definitely are tall enough to play Jason Voorhees. I see it now.
He's a good sized dude to play Jason.
Yeah. He was a really nice guy.
And it was cool to be able to meet in the flesh and chat.
Yeah. We hope to be able to work with him down the road in some way or another.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He does have that movie coming out, hopefully in October.
Diced.
From writer-director Jeremy Rudd, who was hoping to run into there, but he came Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Saturday. So you want to hear more about that and a little more about Jason and Jeremy, go back to episode 115, I think.
115, I believe, is with Kelly Maroney.
Okay, so like I said, the last few episodes we hyped Crypticon.
Yeah, 114, I believe, is with Jason.
Sound about right?
And then 115 is with Kelly Maroney from Crypticon.
Who was also a fun person to meet and hang with and get my Chopping Mall poster signed.
Yep.
Take some pictures with her, and she was cool. She was super sweet.
She's cool. She was really nice, enthusiastic. You could tell that she was really happy to be there and happy to take pictures with people and all that. It was nice. It showed that she was having fun.
Like, basically what our whole conversation with her about was on the show was about convention stuff.
Yeah.
And what it means and all that. And like she brought it and then like next level. Like she was so cool. Just this just friendly as hell and just joking and laughing and like genuinely having a good time. It wasn't like, let me sign your shit, there you go, be on your way. It was like, no, you felt like you've known her for a long time. It's like up there with meeting like Felissa Rose, Doug Jones, like people that make you, they're like endearing to you. You like them more after.
Yeah. I just I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched part of the Chainsaw Awards a few nights ago, and I saw Felissa come out, and I was like, I know her. We hope to chat with her again on the show, because the last one, Steve was only around for that.
Kelly was on the Chainsaw Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yep. And then for
speaking of nice people,
for episode 116, if you didn't listen, we had a chat with Matthew Patrick Davis, who is the mother from Barbarian, and of course we met him there, and
he's also on my favorite guest list.
Yeah, he was so
conventions.
Cool. He was so nice, and it's too bad. Like, I think I say this in the nicest way. I think a lot of the people that were there weren't really familiar with him. Either you've watched Barbarian or you haven't, and that was the main thing that he was promoting.
That was like his horror.
Yeah, that's kind of his
foot in the horror door.
Yeah, I mean, he has some theater time under his belt, a lot of theater time, and he's played Jack Skellington before. If you hear him sing, God, you definitely, you get the connection. Like, okay, he can play Jack.
He's a super talented dude, and he has a very comedic background. He's very funny, and like I said, this was like his horror debut, and you wouldn't even fucking know it was him.
Yeah.
He was the mother, that creepy fucking mutant lady in the tunnels under the town in Barbarian.
And if you watch the movie, you know that he's tall, but it's a little different when you see him in person. He's 6'8".
Imagine having been, like Justin Long, standing next to that tall, scary person.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be fucking terrifying. Even though it's not like a thing, but you're in like that dark tunnel.
I mean, Justin's face, with how tall he was, Justin's face was probably like right there by the nipple.
Right by the titty.
He's like, ugh. Matthew brought the baby bottle for the photos.
For his photo ops, he had a baby bottle with like...
Yeah, if any of you guys ever see that he's attending a convention, he'll likely have that with him for the photo, and it adds a nice little bit of flavor to it.
Yeah, he's a fucking good dude.
Yeah,
I had a blast talking with him. I had to make sure to get a picture signed by him, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, me too.
And he signs with his famous line. His famous line from Barbarian.
Burr, burr. I think if I'm gonna pick a wrestler that the mother would be a fan of, I could see the mother in the front stands at AEW, like, Adam Cole, baby.
I don't know about all that. He's gonna be at SummerCon, I think.
What's your favorite Zeppelin song? Baby, I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah, he's gonna be at SummerCon, Adam Cole.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I wanna meet him. I've always been a fan of his stuff. I didn't get anything signed by her because I met her years ago, but Dee Wallace was there.
Yeah.
Who is the mom from E.T.
She was really sweet.
Cujo. Just a ton of shit.
Critters.
She was in the show Grimm,
Howling.
which is one of my favorite TV shows. But we got to hang and chat with her for, I was probably like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
We hung over there and just talked.
Yeah.
On a quiet time, and she was just super sweet and endearing. And
yeah, we just kind of happened to look over at the time. She had a long line almost all day
busy,
long.
all weekend.
All day, all weekend.
I almost felt bad bothering her while she finally had a moment's rest. But
yeah.
She was cool.
Yeah, we took that moment to go and chat, and she was really sweet to us. And she had these little figurines on the table, one of E.T., one of the werewolf from The Howling, and then something else. And she pointed
out the butt, right?
Yeah, they were great. They had great detail on them, and I was like, oh, wow, that wolf is amazing. And she grabs it, and I thought she was going to just comment on that, how nice it looks. And she spins it around, shows me. She was like, I like the butt on this one. Like, oh, okay. And then you were like, oh, I thought you were talking about E.T.'s butt. She was like, E.T. didn't have a butt. And then the three of us are just standing there laughing about, like, the things people talk about at conventions.
Yep.
Did E.T. have an ass or no?
She's cool. She's one of those people that you never know you might hear on this podcast someday. Who knows? It's not out of the realm of possibility.
You might hear a few of these people on the show in the future. Who knows? We may or may not have chatted with a few of them about.
I kind of
talking.
regret not getting an autograph from John Kassir, who's the voice of the Crypt Keeper. He was there.
He was cool too.
I probably should have got something signed by him, but we did get to say hi to him and chat with him and exchange info, so that could be another potential thing someday. Yeah. I'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah,
just to see if we get him to do the voice. That would be cool.
He liked one of my posts about Crypticon before the event, so
So, he's probably a fan.
Could be. I definitely made a point of telling him that he was my introduction to horror hosts.
The other patron. Just kidding.
I know that Joe Bob is your thing, and Sven Gulli and whatnot, and they're great at what they do. But for me as a kid, the Crypt Keeper was the first horror host
honestly, he's probably
was introduced to.
He's probably one of the first I was introduced to.
Yeah.
Because at the time when I was young and really getting into movie and TVs, there wasn't really any. Like, Elvira was everywhere, but at that point she was just like on commercials.
Yeah,
and all
she's
that
just like
stuff.
a well-known figure.
And she's definitely fascinating to my young mind with for reasons.
Yeah.
She's super cool too. Speaking of her, probably announce it. Hopefully I don't jinx us. Her movie Elvira's Haunted Hills was directed by Sam Irvin, who I've gotten acquainted with online, and he agreed to come on our show. So this could be happening soon. He's a multi-time Rondo winner. He's a writer. He just released an awesome book called I Was a Teenage Monster Hunter. It was about when he was younger, in his teenage years, he wrote a fanzine called Bizarre, and he just hustled and made so many connections and met a ton of people, like from a lot of Hammer horror movie stars, and got to interview them and stuff, and just mingle and became friends with a lot of them. But he grew up and became a great director and done a lot of cool shit. So we might actually chat with that guy very soon. I keep talking about, we might chat with this guy, we might chat with that person. He agreed to.
Yeah.
We have a date set.
We talked to Alex Vincent briefly.
Yeah. I didn't talk to him that much.
That's right. You didn't. I talked to him for a few minutes. I went to his panel, and then later I got an autograph from him and just chatted for a minute. And
Which was extra cool for you because you're
I'm a big fan of the franchise, and it was cool to just chat with him about something. Once I found out he was a fan of Sonny, there's something that's not even Chucky related that we could chat about for a minute, because everybody wants to talk to him about Chucky. Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, the show's coming back on June 7th, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm aware. I'm waiting." And then we just laughed together about the fact that Chucky is a lovable shithead. He's a little asshole, but you can't help but like him at the same time.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has personality, and I've said that before. That's
Chucky does.
Yeah. Those are the horror icons that I really like, are the ones that have some personality and can talk a little bit and whatnot. The silent ones are cool too. But anyway, Alex was cool. And then later in the day, we ended up meeting one of the co-hosts of Talk Scary to Me podcast, which is a show I've mentioned on here. You guys should check it out. Danielle Harris. She was there at our friends Unlock the Con. They're like a pop culture store out at the Auburn, Washington Mall. And so they go to Crypticon and usually bring a guest with them that'll be at their booth.
Yeah.
Like last year they had Roger Jackson, the voice of Ghostface, which I was thrilled to meet. And then this year they brought Danielle. So she was at their store on Friday for like a little private signing. And then Saturday, Sunday, she went with them to the event. And so we stopped and said hi to her briefly. And I talked to her about her podcast and some of the guests they've had on. And speaking of her show, which is hosted with Scout Taylor Compton. The two of them will be at Tom Devlin's Monster Museum in Las Vegas, July 1st from noon to 4. So her and Scout are going to be there for a signing, and then afterwards they're going to do a live podcast. So
that would be. I've always wanted to go to that place.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about?
I do
Devlin's
not.
Museum? Find YouTube videos like people tour it and stuff. It's so fucking cool.
It's probably going to be a great place for them to
That's
be
a
doing a
perfect
signing,
place for,
you know. So yeah, if you want to go and get something signed by both of them, Danielle and Scout, that's a great place to do it. And then so they're going to be doing the signing from noon to 4, and then there's like an hour break for them because you know people got to eat and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so at 6 o'clock they'll be
poop.
doing their live pod. Yeah, give the ladies some time to take a poop before the show.
Of course.
Yeah.
I really like to poop before we podcast. I didn't today though. You're welcome.
Speaking of the bathroom, I ran into Eugene Clark in the bathroom. My oldest and I went in, and you know we're washing our hands, and the next person that walks in is a fucking zombie, and I was like, "Oh, that's Eugene." Just kept my head down. We just
No,
walked
it
out.
mess up when you're pissing. He did the scare that he does to people.
Yeah, puts me in a chokehold. Like
you piss
pissing
all over yourself.
the place.
Yeah.
I'm not cleaning that, Eugene.
That would be a hell of a Crypticon memory.
I know I've mentioned the They're Coming to Get You podcast on here before. I was listening recently, and those guys were talking about Eugene Clark, and they were like, if you've been to, I don't know, any convention, you've seen Eugene Clark before.
Yeah.
He's the zombie from Land of the Dead, and he's
daddy.
a worker, man. He's out there. Like
He's out there hustling.
Yeah, definitely. He has his own Funko Pops.
I've seen him at multiple conventions. I've probably seen him at like 5 conventions over the years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
At least.
So. But yeah, I didn't say nothing to him in the bathroom. I just kept my head down.
Yeah. You know, it was a pleasant surprise. Like, people, I wanted to meet them after seeing them on The Last Drive-In. The Addams Family. Toby, Lulu, John. They did the film Hellbender, which Joe Bob showed, and it was a cool, interesting movie. They were there, and I was like, oh, I'm going to pop by and say hi to them. But after talking to these guys, like, I'm a fucking fan of them.
Likewise.
Like,
yeah.
They were some of them. At first, it was the most pleasant fucking surprise. Like, these guys were, I figured they'd probably be fun, but they were, like, fucking awesome. Not only, like, were they cool, but, like, they know our town and, like, come and hang here sometimes. So
Yep. I just happened to tell them, like, oh, we're from Port Townsend, 2 hours north of here. And
like, we know it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, we love that area. Small world.
Yeah, we're just up there.
Yeah.
So there's somebody that would definitely probably hook up with someday and chill with. Like, I still...
Yeah. Good music, good filmmakers.
I still interact with them regularly since, like Lulu all the time. She's super cool.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about crazy desserts and shit that, like, she had. But yeah, after talking to them for, like, a couple minutes, I was like, okay, we got to talk to them. We need them on the podcast.
Yep.
So we got to know them a little bit and recorded a segment with them. Of course, it's at a convention, so there's going to be some background noise, but it should still sound... You should be able to listen to it and enjoy it. But these guys are crazy cool. The Addams is, like I said, Lulu, John, Toby, and they sent me a song, too, to run, a Hellbender song called Blood on the Stone, which, as we're recording this, I haven't downloaded the song to my setup yet. But if it works, then you're going to hear a song. If not, and you don't hear a song, don't be mad at me. But I'll
Go look them up.
I'll figure it out, and I'll try to get to play it on another episode. But I'm hoping I can squeeze it in this episode.
Telling you in advance. If you don't hear it, go look them up.
Yes, but you should definitely...
You'll be happy that you did.
Definitely support these guys. They're freaking way cool.
Like you were saying, they're kind of like a dark Partridge Family.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're like the wild Partridge Family. So check it out. Meet the Addamses. And every time I say the Addams Family, I want to be like...
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, meet them.
You rang.
They're probably about as cool as the Addams Family. They are the Addams Family, but a different Addams Family. 1D, not double D. But yeah, meet these guys. Check it out. Support them. and we will be right back.
You're listening to the Steve and Crypto podcast. This is Jack Rudo from the Stapled Spine fanzine here in Horror, Oregon. We write and publish everything from horror comics, bands, movies, puzzles, mazes, dirty jokes, sometimes boobs. I don't know. Come find us, stapledspine.com.
Hey, what is happening? We are at Crypticon, Seattle, our favorite place. We are hanging with the Addams family. You might remember them from their appearance. They're probably the best episode of The Last Drive-In. They showed Hellbender, and we're hanging out with the family. So everybody introduce yourselves, and let's get
party.
chatting. Let's party.
Hey, it's really great to see you guys. We're happy to be with the Steve and Crypto show. You guys are wonderful. And this has been a great time here in Seattle. A great group of people, good times. This is my great daughter, Lulu.
Hello. Thanks for having us. Hey, I'm Toby Poser, and we love Port Townsend.
And what's really cool about these guys, they've been to our town, so that's hype. They dig the town. They know about it. I was surprised. And hopefully you guys come back.
Oh, yeah, we love
Come
Port
back.
Townsend.
We'll have to party down and
absolutely
drink tea or coffee or something.
We'll hit the bunkers and play hide and seek in the dark.
There you go. Yeah.
See if anybody dies.
Yeah. So, what have you guys been up to since we seen you on The Last Drive-In?
We're coming up with a bunch of fun stuff. I'll talk about the first thing, which is Where the Devil Roams. It's a cross between Frankenstein, Bonnie and Clyde, and it's a kind of a timepiece that's really fun, really brutal, but it's balanced out. The horror is balanced out with a little bit of love, and we're really looking forward to that. That's going to premiere at Fantasia Film Festival here in July, and then it's going to have a little run, and then it'll be on. We have an announcement to make of where it's going to appear, but Toby can talk about the next one.
Yeah, our next film is Where the Devil Roams. It's kind of like a point on the triangle of after the Deep U Dig and Hellbender. It takes place in Depression-era America, and it's about some murderous sideshow performers. Lulu, well, I'm not going to give it away, but Lulu shows off her talents with an axe. Yeah, and then we also made a film in Serbia this winter that's Shudder's putting out called Hellhole.
Tell us about that, Lulu. You wrote it.
Yeah, we shot that one out in Serbia, and it feels like a real classic horror. It's more old-fashioned, and it's got a great monster, a really fun one. And we have a ton of people that we worked with that are awesome.
We definitely like a good monster.
Well,
that's why we're here.
This is a fun monster, and Lulu invented it, and she wrote a great script for us, and we went over to Serbia, and we shot with a great production team, and Shudder's putting it out, and we hope everybody loves it out there. We had a great time making it. It's good and brutal.
So are one of you actually playing the monster? Is that a top secret that you can't?
No, it's not top secret. Actually, our monster was made by a wonderful effects builder named Todd Masters, and he built us this monster. So it's a real monster that we filmed. It's not digital effects. It's practical effects. And he flew it over to Serbia and, dealt with customs and all sorts of crazy shit. And then he was smart because he left it with us. So we had to bring it back to the United States. He's like, you try to take this shit home. So we had a monster in our bag, and it was fun.
That must have been fun for the people working in the airport.
I think that it probably was fun. It wasn't fun for us, and it wasn't fun for Todd, but it was fun filming it, I can tell you that.
Were we able to explain, with the language barrier, it's for a movie? It's just.
Actually, he had what did Todd like to call it, Toby?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Todd had a he called it a puppet. So he used the term a puppet. What is this? It's a puppet. But it was a huge fucking puppet.
Giant puppet.
Right, for customs.
How big are we talking?
The monster was basically as big as me, but it's got tentacles and shit.
Oh, wow.
So it's big. Like when we carried it home, and there was 2 monsters. There was an animatronics monster, and then there was this stunt monster, and the stunt, both of them were kind of unwieldy and wild and beautiful, like really cool. Like he's such a great artist, don't you think?
Oh yeah, and the nicest guy, and it was such a privilege that he flew out to actually work with us for 2 weeks with our special effects guy, who's the 5th member of our family. His name is Trey Lindsay, and he's done all the special effects and video effects for since The Deeper You Dig. So it was all in the family, but through Shudder and with the mostly Serbian crew out there, it was fucking awesome.
So me not being super familiar with your work besides Hellbender, is this the first time that you guys have dealt with such a big creature or something in a movie?
Yes. Yeah, we usually kind of see what's in our kitchen or roadkill, where we live in the country, and we're like, this will work for us. What can we put together here? But this was the first time we've worked with someone who really created this beautiful practical monster.
So now do you got that itch to go bigger?
No, but if we ever were to do it again, we would do it with Todd.
And you got the guy to do it. So, yeah. Maybe do it closer to home, though, so you don't have to deal with the whole...
Yeah.
So what's the writing process like between all of you? Like, do you guys bounce ideas off of each other? Does one of you get it going, the rest of you chime in later?
Generally, I think for writing a script with all of us, it's a lot of long drives home from somewhere, from groceries, over dinner, and just talking about what the fuck do we want, what would be fun, what do we want to get into, what do we want to explore, right? And then with this one, it was, I wrote the first script, pumped it out. We had like a month. We were like, gotta fucking write this script. We gotta get a first draft. And just John and I did a lot of coffee talks in the morning, pumping through, okay, what do we want to get into? What's kind of fun? And thinking a lot of what hasn't been done.
Yeah. Well, some of the best stuff comes when you're under pressure, It's true.
Absolutely.
Well, what was cool was Toby, Lulu and I kind of banged out the first script. Lulu really banged it out. We bounced ideas off each other, but Lulu really wrote it. And then Toby took over and fixed it up, put some real tasty meat on those bones. And I think between the 3 of us, we came up with a really fun rock and roll horror story.
Now, this is the one that's going to Shudder.
This is the one that Shudder bought, and Shudder basically produced through a company called Not the Funeral Home. And, it was a great experience to work with Shudder on a big production.
Did they have the interest in you guys doing this before, or did you show them the script? And
they got interested because Hellbender was like on the loose, and we all enjoyed working together, so they kind of wanted to do another movie with us. But
it actually started at the drive-in, because we were shooting that, and they asked what kind of stuff we were up to, and John was like, we got to have this fun idea about this monster who's only interested in men, and they were like, we want to hear more about that. And we kind of fibbed and said, we have a first draft, but then suddenly we had to make a first draft. And so it started at the drive-in that day. It was just like a seed, and then suddenly it turned into a sapling, and the next thing you know, it was like a full-blown tree.
So it was like the hustling. Yeah,
Yeah.
You got them. It's good, though. Do they have any more interest after seeing what they've seen so far and going further? Yeah?
Yeah, Shudder's great to work with. We got some interest from other people too, though. So we're just very thankful. It's more, I think what we're really thankful about is that the horror community has been very kind to us. And so it's not so much about the distributors to us. It's more about that there's an audience out there that is enjoying what we're doing. And that's really what's important. Like, here we are at Crypticon, and you look around, and these are all people that enjoy horror. And we like being a part of this community. So we're more interested in being a part of this community than we are impressing distributors or people like that, because this is where it all happens. If you're not having fun with the people like Shudder or Netflix or whatever, they don't give a shit about you. So it's more about enjoying this community.
Yeah, I mean, they're The community is what keeps it thriving and going. That's it. Shudder wouldn't still be what it is without all us weirdos. I like to refer to us as weirdos because we're fucking weirdos.
We're weird.
So where can people keep up on what you guys are doing?
Our website is wonderwheelproductions.com. And then our band has a site called hellbender.com, but all the E's are 6s. And, our music's on Spotify and Apple. And then Instagram, we're adams.family.films.
Cool. Well, anything you want to throw out there for fans and our millions of listeners?
Anyone?
Both of those guys?
Yeah, we want to say thanks.
Well,
That's what we want to say.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on your show.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening to the show. And just thanks.
Cool. One quick last thing. Is there a dream location where you'd like to film something at?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. I'll bet we got 3 different answers. Mine's going to be, there's a place above Haines, Alaska, that we filmed a little something for our very first movie, The Hatred. No, it's actually a short called Ever. And I would like to go back to those mountains that are super remote, super wicked looking, real brutal. I would love to make like a brutal Western movie up there.
I think I would like to film up in the mountains in Indonesia. On Bali, there's all these old family temples that are all like black temples. Nothing's, innocent and white looking. It's all dark colored and all about family history.
Just looking sinister. Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
Middle of nowhere. Absolutely.
All right, I would like to go super microscopic and shoot like inside the walls of a house. I've always wanted to get one of those tiny little cameras that I think, plumbers and people use and kind of shoot a film like in the tiny little crevices of a house with all the spider webs and things we usually can't see.
That would just be cool. Just go navigating through with like a cool soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. You find a lot of weird shit in there. But with that being said, thank you for hanging out, and hopefully we'll chat again soon and enjoy some of the movies.
Thanks, Stephen Crypto.
And watch Hellbender on Shudder.
Thanks, you guys. Much love.
Thank you.
Whispers for the hellhounds, tearing the sky. Listen to them fall now. I can hear the love screaming for the lost ones. I can hear the love screaming for the lost ones. Whispers for the hellhounds. Whispers for the hellhounds. All my love is sacred, filled with veins of hatred. All my love is dead and gone. All my love is sacred, filled with veins of hatred. All my love is dead and gone. Blood on the stone, screaming for the lost one. Blood on the stone, screaming for the lost one.
I'm Mr. Lobo of Cinema Insomnia, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. Or are you?
And we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed our little chat with the Addams family live at Crypticon 2023.
And hopefully a song played for you guys, and you dug that too.
Yeah, hope so.
If not, you'll hear it someday.
If not, then you get nothing. Good day, sir.
I think that pretty much sums up what our day at Crypticon was. All these people we got, we met a ton of people. We got a bunch of other people that will potentially come on the show.
And then we almost got stuck on that side of the water because the bridge we have to cross was closing in like 10 minutes. We hauled ass to make it there.
Which is a horror show in itself.
Yeah, because if that bridge would have closed, we would have had to drive an extra like 3 hours to get home.
But we did get some good-ass coffee at the Bigfoot place.
Yeah, Bigfoot Java in Tacoma.
Yeah,
6th Avenue.
That was,
not a sponsor.
That was pretty good, though. Their coffee. I dug. I had never had their coffee before, I think. Or maybe I have.
I feel like
don't
we've
know.
been there. Yeah.
But it was good. It was a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Can't say the same about that fucking Carl's Jr. crap that we ate.
That was gross.
That was crap.
Yeah, it's kind of weird if you go through a drive-through and you're like, hey, what's on that burger? Just because you can't always tell by the little image that's there. And they're like, 1 tomato slice, 3 pieces of onion, 1
he
lettuce.
was reading from the manual to us, like, bro, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how you sell shit. Like there
that's
is
a simple
exactly
question, dude. What's on the
3
fucking
ounces, 0.75 ounces of cheese. Like, no, dude, I don't care about that. Just tell me what the fuck's on it.
Yeah.
Just tell me the gross shit so I can tell you to take it off.
So if you're listening,
probably not.
You need to find a new job.
I don't think that guy even knew how to fucking use a smartphone, but he's probably not listening to us. Poor guy. And that's why he worked at Carl's Jr. Not knocking anybody who has to work at Carl's Jr., but just this guy. So Crypticon was awesome. Stay tuned here on the Steven Crypto Show. We'll probably maybe chat with more of the people that we ran into there. Some of the vendors were cool. For some reason, I feel like an idiot because his name escapes me, but he's a dude that's done stuff for like Garbage Pail Kids. Chad. See if you can find it.
Shear?
Yeah, Chad Shear. That's right. He's a good dude I want to talk to at some point.
Great art.
His art's so cool. Just gross Garbage Pail Kid type of art.
Garbage Pail, like tops, right? Does
Yeah,
some of the
he done
top
a lot
stuff.
of like tops, like insert cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Art cards. Just a lot of good people. It was a good time. This episode, as we're wrapping it up, we usually do a trivia question. We are going to skip trivia this week. We've given you some good trivia questions. Catch up on them. Answer any of them. We'll send you some shit. Put your name on the list.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked long enough, and honestly, I'm still fucking recovering from Crypticon, and then the 2 following weekends after, I just been running around doing a lot of things, and I've talked a lot.
Oh shit!
But
real
something
quick.
you wanted to add?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of fresh here. You just watched Burt Kirshner's The Machine last
Bert
night.
Kreischer.
Yeah, that's what I said. Bart Chrysler. Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. I
So
did
you
watch
watched
it.
Brent Kirshner's movie last night. How was that?
It was okay. It was what you expect. I went in thinking, all right, it's going to be a movie. He's going to take his shirt off. There's going to be a lot of crude one-liners.
Luke Skywalker's in it.
Luke Skywalker's old and in it. And that's exactly what it was. That's it. That's really all I got. Like, I don't want to tell you my favorite part because it was just like a one-line joke.
Did his dad talk to the owls at all?
I don't think so.
There's one of his specials. There's like a real clip at the end while the credits are rolling of his dad, who I think he ate some medicinal popcorn that Joey Diaz brought over to their house, and then he went outside and he was like, "There's owls across the river" or whatever, and he's out there like, "Whoo, whoo."
Is his dad Luke Skywalker?
Well, yeah, of course.
Because the
True
movie
story.
is like real, right?
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they found out later there was another old guy on the other side of the river that was like, "Whoo, whoo."
Like hooting back at him.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was funny, dude. It was. I don't really want to say too much because I know you're a fan of his, and you want to see it. So.
I'm gonna go see him live, July 15th at the Gorge.
Yeah.
First time going to that venue. First time seeing him live.
Put it this way, though. After watching the movie, I'm glad I'm not going to see him live.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just. I don't know. It was okay. It was funny. I'm not mad I watched it in the theater.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go watch it again. in the theater.
It's not long of a wait for things to be on streaming
And
these
I
days.
Probably won't buy it on DVD either.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was fine. It was funny, but it's just the same old shit. Predictable, like I said. Spoiler alert, he's going to take his shirt off and get crazy.
When he met Mark Hamill and they did their little Zoom thing, like, first time meeting and talking about the role or whatever.
Yeah.
Mark said he was, and Bert was like, "This is when I knew you were going to be my dad in the movie." Because Mark was like, "Why don't you wear like a nice button up or, like a some type of shirt or whatever?" He's like, "It would look nice on you." And he's like, "That's something my dad would say. You're going to be my father in this movie."
Pretty much.
Well, I'm glad
go
you
watch
had,
it if you want.
Glad you had fun. I mean, I'd like to go see it in the theater, but I got to be picky with my outings these days. And if I don't, I don't. I'll definitely watch it at some point. But.
Yeah. There's some stuff. I feel like there's something coming up that I'm excited to see.
A lot of the movies I've gone to in the theater have been, you leave and you're like, I could have just watched that streaming.
Yeah.
It's sad that that's the way a lot of them have been.
That's how I felt about Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Which we kind of got into that on Patreon. That's still up on Patreon.
Yeah.
So go become a patron. Patreon.com/SteveCrypto.
Sadly, I felt the same way.
You can do as little as $1 a month to help support the show and hear us bitch about things. Or hear us share adventures with our families.
Yeah.
Or hear me and my lady talk about games and just other nerdy shit. Like, we get more personal there. We let you more into our personal lives there.
Yeah. And things we don't like.
That's funny. We talk about like pooping and stuff on here, but like we don't get that kind of personal over there. It's just like what our life is. It's our life. We let you more into our life because you deserve it, I guess.
Question mark?
So yeah, over on Patreon. What else? Something else is coming. Oh, fucking new Indiana Jones.
June 30th, right?
Something like that. I want to see that.
It'll be playing at our local Uptown Theater.
Did you already go watch The Little Mermaid? I know you were waiting for that one.
No.
The Little Mermaid.
No. It's funny you mentioned the machine. That was one of his promo videos when that was coming out. Was like you see a shot of Ariel swimming, and then the head turns up, and it's Bert.
Yeah.
It's Bert just dressed up like a mermaid.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'd probably watch that one. Bert as a mermaid.
The Flash movie don't look that bad either.
The Batman movie?
With the
Batman,
Flash in it.
the Flash?
With the shitty Flash in it, yeah.
Yeah.
And the good
Batman
Michael
and the
Keaton.
Flash.
I just want to see it. Like, I was like, this looks okay. I'll probably watch it. And then Michael Keaton's like, I'm Batman. I was like, fuck yeah. That's my second favorite Batman after fucking...
And then Batfleck's in there
66. Too. Did old school Batman. He's all right.
You don't like Batfleck?
I like him better than Christian Bale.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like Christian Bale.
No. I love the Dark Knight movie, but I'm not crazy about Christian Bale as Batman. Like, I think Affleck plays a decent Batman, but he's a better Bruce Wayne.
Think so?
Yeah. And I kind of like...
I think he's a okay both.
And I like Christian Bale. I kind of like Christian Bale as Batman. Not really so much.
Yeah, but he's always so angry.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that.
Fucking stupid.
Physically, he was decent. Played a good Batman.
Michael Keaton blows them both away.
Oh, yeah, of course.
As Bruce Wayne, as Batman.
Yeah, yeah. They just need to bring DeVito back as the Penguin. I want to see that.
Bring him back as Batman.
Trash Man.
Have him play Batman.
Batman versus the Trash Man.
A little 3 foot tall Batman running around. 3 foot tall, chubby little Batman. That shit would be hilarious.
Walking around with his little toe knife out.
Ugh, that's gross.
Botched one.
So, yeah. It's the kind of nonsense we talk about.
Yeah.
And don't you just want to go to Patreon? Or don't you just want to go to buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto and tip the show so we could keep this nonsense going?
Yeah.
I think
they
do.
You know you do.
I think they do. And I think they want to get merch. So people could say, hey, I see you wearing a Steven Crypto t-shirt. You listen to those assholes?
I want to visit Etsy/shop/Steven Crypto merch to get myself a nice new t-shirt, a coffee mug, and a magnet. Get all 3.
Get all that shit.
Get the other shirt, too. Get all 4.
That stuff. Do all the things to help support the show. Follow us on social media. He's CryptoZoo88. I'm the Steve Strout. We have the Facebook group. Just search for the Steve and Crypto Podcast on Facebook. The group will pop up. Post stuff in there. Jump in on conversations that are already going. And, of course, be on the lookout for all the latest episodes and updates from us and from the Steve and Crypto Show. And, most important, leave us a review and rating wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
That's right. And you can definitely help us out by just sharing the show, like on your Facebook or whatever. Just share it. SteveandCrypto.com. Share that.
Yep.
And just put it out there. If you have friends that are into horror, they're into pop culture talk, maybe we've chatted with somebody that your friend is a fan of, be like, hey, these guys chatted with Doug Jones, Christina Lease, Dirk Manning, comic book writer. Different, we have a long list of people we've chatted with.
Like, hey, these guys did really shitty Hulk Hogan impressions last fucking week.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Brother.
These guys have it's my third favorite podcast.
Did you ever see that meme? That's how we're going to close the show out. Did you ever see that meme, the Hulk Hogan meme, when it's like Hulk Hogan picking up a hooker? And he says, I bet you got really good pussy, brother.
No.
No.
Well, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, anyways.
Oh, God. All right, if you guys want to hear more chat like this, we'll catch you on episode 119.
Bye, brother.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. Cut it off.
I was going to fade you out.
Fight for your life.
Bye, guys.